Let's see. Aha, we are live.
Mm-hmm.
I think we are live. First of all, everyone, can we just check the sound? Hey there, everyone. And you will notice, if you can hear us, you will see that we are a twosome again.
Yes.
A naughty twosome again. And first of all, before we start off the show, we just want to say a big shout out and prayers to Diane and Annie in particular.
Yeah.
Diane has been saying that Annie's been very unwell. As we know, Annie is Diane's cat of how old is Annie now? Lady
I
G,
don't
do
know.
you
I
know?
think it was her mother's cat, and then she got it. She's quite, up there in age, so the
Yeah.
body's kind of shutting down. So
I think she's older. She's at least 12, I would say,
yeah,
but I think she might be 15. She might
yeah,
be 15.
and that's about the end of their life cycle when they get up
Oh,
that 15, 16.
bless,
Yeah.
bless. So Annie has got a severe eye infection, and Diane has been taking her to the vets a lot, and she's not well. So she's just asking that everyone send her and Annie light and love, and let's hope
Yes.
things kind of work out. But she is a very mature, she's a very, very mature cat now. She's a very mature lady now. So first I wanted to say as well, if anyone, of course, if you're enjoying our work here that we do every Saturday, Lady G and I, then of course, please feel free to like and subscribe to our channels if you like our stuff, and join as well and all that stuff. We really appreciate your support. And just for those as well, just a quick thing. Many people are asking, I've still got the HoDiGa 20 going. Yeah, I've still got that going. I decided to extend it to the end of the month because, a lot of people have been enjoying that and they've liked that discount. So that will give you a discount. And of course, as well, in the description in below this video as well, we also have the links to Lady G's website. So of course, please like and subscribe there as well, and to also have her fabulous wisdom. And one of the things I also want to talk about as well, not as in doing a reading on, but Lady G, did you hear about the thing with Alec Baldwin?
Yes. Oh, that was so tragic. I was just like, oh my God, everybody concerned is so tragic. I can't imagine being him, and firing that and having somebody die. Oh my God.
So apparently there was a live round in the gun, which is just...
I heard that some guy on the set took it target shooting.
Wow, that's how it happened. Oh my goodness, that is astonishing. That really should... That's astonishing because so just as a little bit background, guys, I used to do a lot of film work once upon a time for a couple of years. And if you're yet to see the new James Bond, watch out for me in the Cuba scene because you might see me in the background. Yeah.
Well, be looking.
You might see me in the background, but the point is that when you're on set, there are things like I've done extras work and stuff like that, and sometimes you have to hold replica firearms or even real firearms, when there's very, very strict protocols around that. They're marked up and everything like that. So one of the most important things is that any firearms or anything that are on set, they are kept under lock and key to prevent this kind of thing happening. And it is just tragic and it's outrageous. That person is going to be so sacked, so fired, whoever did that, because now someone is dead. So I mean, it's just such... I just thought we had to mention that story because that was so extraordinary. But today got some questions here, and this has got a bit more of an international flavor. We've got some, obviously some American stuff. So, but we're going to try and get through. We've got 6 questions here. We'll see if we can get through them all. Okay. So I think we need to talk about Facebook, the health of the Queen, Steve Bannon. I know I did a special in him on Wednesday, but there's more to talk about with him. Taiwan and China, Bolsonaro and Giuliani. I think that's quite an interesting show. And let's see who's in. My goodness, guys, you're piling in. This is wonderful. So who do we have joining us tonight? And thank you so much, guys, for being here with us on a Saturday. And, you know, we love that, you know, the power of three energy. But sometimes, you know, life just intervenes. Life gets in the way. And, you know, there you are. Sometimes these things happen. So we really do wish the best for Diane and Annie. So we've got, who was the first one in? It's we've got Joe Galbraith, Nancy, Sarah Jolly, Sharon Saipe. So nice for your support. You love always here every week. Victoria Olsen, you're in. Who else do we have? We've got Faye Cole, Nene Girl, Marvel Johnson, Dr. Liz. So nice to see you, Dr. Liz, and many more. Right, so let's begin. And as everyone will have seen, you know, this Facebook stuff, this Facebook stuff just gets more and more like a swamp, doesn't it, Lady D? More and more like a swamp. And what is emerging via the whistleblower, and they said we know who she is, the lady with the long blonde hair. So interesting. Look at this. What's at the base of the deck for me as I start shuffling?
Oh my goodness.
Seven of Cups, illusions and delusions. And what's emerged now, as everyone probably would have seen on the news, that basically they've leaked the emails of the internal Facebook staff that were talking about all of the stuff that was going on, particularly in regards to January 6th. And basically the staff were like, look, we know we've been fueling this now for ages. The fire is now out of control. Basically, it's our fault.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. And it's literally in the emails. And what they did was, one of the employees, to test the algorithm, they set themselves up. What have I written here? They set themselves up as a test account. They set themselves up as a 41-year-old woman from North Carolina who liked to view sort of like pages, maybe like, you know, conservative pages and stuff like that. And then within a week, she is being shown lots of QAnon stuff. And then they said within 3 weeks, she was being shown like the 3% pages and far right stuff and violent images and all of this stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Facebook knew about it and still carried on. And you just think, and the staff knew, but of course they're the staff, they're not Mark Zuckerberg. You know, at the end of the day, you know, we can't really blame the staff. They've got bills to pay, just like everyone else.
Their job to do. You got to go to the top. It rots from the top.
Rots from the top. There you are. That's it. Lady G on form tonight. Absolutely. Do you know what? It's just occurred to me. And I've not done it yet. I need to do a special in-depth video on Mark Zuckerberg, don't I? He's on my list.
That would be a good one to do.
Yeah, I think, let me just write that down. Special on Mark Zuckerberg. Okay, so what I wanted to ask or look at is, so Facebook new revelations. So will it be censored or even broken up? Let's look at that. Will it be censored or even broken up? Facebook. Will it be censored or even broken up? Let me just ooh, look at this. Split the deck. We've got the King of Pentacles. Surprise, surprise. We all know who that could be. That could certainly be a Mark Zuckerberg, couldn't it? And there's part of me that would love to dip the camera on my laptop so people can see my hands. I'll just have to shuffle that way. But the last time that happened, everything froze. So I am not touching the laptop.
No, do not touch. Do not touch.
I will not touch. Are you oh, actually I'm still shuffling. Actually, I've not even selected my cards yet. All right. Facebook. So whenever you're ready, Lady G.
Okay. Well, first thing I got is some of the younger ones are going to be out there kind of pounding the pavement, I think, as it is. There's going to be some offer made, and they are trying to get out of the sticky wicket to, calmer waters. They're going to have to walk away from some things. And they're going to get tied up with stuff. So it looks like maybe there will be some sort of legislature or something like that coming out that is going to, from the reading of this, looks like, yeah, we're going to make you an offer you can't refuse. Definitely want to get to calmer waters. You need to walk away from some of this stuff and quit. Okay.
Wow. So that is really interesting. And, my cards are saying similar things. Oh, before I read, someone's made us.
Oh, now how can that be?
So me be me. Thank you so much for your donation.
Oh,
thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
We really appreciate that. All right. So what I've got here, look at this. I've got, what is it? I've got the 9 of Wands in reverse. So when it's the right way up, we know that this is the card of endurance, battling, persistence, carrying on through all the strifes and struggles, regardless, and, essentially trying to make it through. But when it's reversed, this can be almost like a feeling of being overwhelmed. Of being overwhelmed, with everything, the battle becoming very, very great. And thank you, Mojo, as well, for your donation as well. Thank you, Mojo. So here, really, this I think for Facebook is the proverbial hitting the fan, so to speak, because the whistleblower has provided thousands, it's not even hundreds, thousands of documents, thousands. And of course, media being media, you don't want to cook your goose all at once. So if you think, like when you cook a goose and all the fat comes off of it, it all drips off. So all that fat is very good for what? Roasting potatoes. So I think all of this fat and stuff that is going to be trickling out with these stories around Facebook is basically, it's going to be almost not maybe necessarily a death by 1,000 cuts, but they're really going to milk this one because this is really serious. Because if Facebook knew and the staff were like, we are responsible for this January 6th and we're not doing anything about it, this is a company that needs to be brought into correction. Because that's just outrageous. We've the world, think of how they've affected democracies around the world. And then the next card that I get, which is come out in the obstacle card, is actually obstacle position. It's the Hangman, but in reverse. And the Hangman means a pause anyway. It means a pause, a self-imposed pause. Maybe the things that you've been planning and etc. Have not come to fruition. But when it's reversed, it's even more intense. This is really kind of like almost trying to have a kind of a paradigm shift where you're really stuck, where you're really having to change your perspectives on something because the outlook is really not working. And when it's the right way up, it's more about delay. And, having a different perspective. This is really having to change and really getting yourself in quite a bit of a pickle. What's that over? Look at this. Facebook is trying to get away with something. There it is. We know this card so well, particularly when it comes to, the charlatans, the crooks, and all the people who are up to their sketchiness. And here we are. We have the 7 of Swords. And of course, what does this card also refer to? Russia.
All the bot stuff they allowed on there.
All the bot stuff, all the advertising. Russia bought tons of advertising, you guys. Well, obviously this audience knows this, but it was a lot. It was a lot. And if we think as well of Cambridge Analytica, all of these things that Facebook has basically facilitated in some way or another because they wanted Yeah, Mr. Zuckerberg wanted what? The money.
Filthy lucre.
Exactly. And when we look here, look at this. We get the 9 of Pentacles reversed. And when this card is reversed, when it's the right way up, it's very much the hostess with the mostess. This is about independence, luxury, you know, having everything that you need. But when it's reversed, because remember as well, this is a courtesan card. This lady here is also a courtesan. You can look at it that way. She's a self-employed woman. But when it's reversed, this can speak of vice and corruption. Vice and corruption. Yeah, absolutely. And just in essence, the shadow of it can be like being a prostitute to an extent. And really, I feel like this is Facebook almost being a prostitute to the money and their algorithms and doing all this stuff. Because remember as well, it's not only this. There's all the self-harming stuff as well. You know, there's stuff with teenagers, Instagram. This is really big. So when I look at this, I'm like, they've sold themselves out for the money. And when we look here as the outcome card, we get the Hierophant. Yeah. So the Hierophant really is about government, and we were talking about government. But when it's reversed as well, this can also talk about breaks of this breaking tradition, but also as well breaking the rules, breaking ethics in some kind of way. The Hierophant is a very ethical card. Yeah. So here, what this says to me is that basically Facebook has broken the ethics, and I think they're going to be examined. Whether or not they'll be broken up, I think that would be quite a big deal for America, because America, of course, does have a big corporate culture. But this says to me that Congress may take a very dim view, but they are going to have to speed up because they're not really very tech savvy. Anything you want to add to that, Lady G, before we move on?
Not too much, no. Other than I can't look at Zuckerberg. He always reminds me of an alien. He's just so odd.
I know, he's got one eye. I mean, like, to me, bless him. He reminds me of a llama. When I think of animals, it makes me think of a llama.
You get llama, I get alien.
Yeah, and there is this kind of rather strange sort of otherworldly quality to him.
Yeah, he's got weird energy, very weird.
Yeah, the energy is very strange, and I just feel like in some way, it's almost when I tune in with him, I just feel like part of that soul has left. There's a kind of emptiness there when I look at Zuckerberg. And even when he's talking, it's almost like talking to someone who is partially AI programmed. Do you know what I mean? There's a certain emptiness there. And I think he lacks empathy. Clearly, he lacks empathy, because if you know that your platform is promoting self-harm in young people, and you go, you know what, I think I prefer the money. Do you know what I mean? Something's not right, because Facebook is not poor. It's worth what, trillions. It's not poor. How much more money do they need? Oh, and you've just reminded me. Well, I've sort of reminded myself, but I want to introduce a term to everyone. And I was been thinking a lot about greed recently, particularly corporate greed and all this kind of stuff. And one of the things is, I think greed should be classified as a form of psychosis.
Absolutely. It's an empty hole that it's like the black hole in space. It just keeps sucking everything in, and it's never filled.
Yeah.
Because
these guys, I think they're kind of mentally and spiritually, they're not right. When I found out the other day that Jeff Bezos, you know, got a £4,000 discount for his children, when this guy is a multi-billionaire, you're not in the normal mind. Yeah, he makes that every 2 seconds. Probably even less than that. He can make $4,000. It's just ridiculous. All right, so let's move on. So this is taking it a bit to the UK here, to England.
Okay, England.
And as you may have known recently, I think it's been a little bit in the news. Her Majesty the Queen, who is, oh gosh, I think she's up there. She's up there. She's up there. I think she's 95 now, something like that. I think she's 95. And how interesting. Look at the base of the deck.
Oh,
The establishment.
yeah.
Look at that. And I'm just talking about the Queen. And recently her health has been playing up a bit. Oh, there's over 400 of you now. Thank you so much for joining. And that number is going up. Thanks so much, guys. And so I want us to just do a read on her health, just to see what we get around her health. I do think she's got a little ways to go yet. But I'm sure you would agree when you're in your 90s, I mean, there's, and also as well, her partner is not here anymore. I did a special course on Prince Philip. And
usually when that happens and they're close, they decline rapidly after that.
Yeah, because she doesn't have her companion.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're getting close to 100 years on Earth, you might think, oh, well, I've done it all now, quite literally. So I thought, let's pull on Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth II's health, just to see how she's getting on. See what the cards bring up. There's going to be lots of variety in tonight's show tonight. Obviously, the things on the States, but there's so much stuff going on internationally as well. And we both like to bring in that international flavor, don't we?
Yes, absolutely.
The Queen. What's going on with health around the Queen? Her Majesty the Queen. Queen Elizabeth II. What's happening? Oh, do you have something interesting?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll pick a few more. I'll see if I can join you. If you'd like to start, it sounds like your cards might not be so great.
Yeah, they're not fabulous. She's in the middle of a massive change. Okay, the Magician.
Wow.
The challenge is, everything eaten away out in the cold, yeah. We have her at the head of the government. Okay. And, surrounded by those, again, the government type thing. And we have the last card, King of Pentacles. So I would say her time is coming to an end pretty soon, and there will be new monarch taking over.
Wow. Gosh. Yes, we have to see. I mean, it is a hope in the UK that she would live as long as her mother, the Queen Mother. And the Queen Mother lived to 101. Yeah. And for the Queen to actually hit that, I think she's 95 now. So I mean, there we are. We're looking at another 6 years, but she no longer has her consort, and and the world has changed so much. So for my cards, quite literally, you can tell the cards are listening in. Look, I get a Queen. Queen of Pentacles. That's the Queen. That's Queen Elizabeth. Yeah. And this Queen here deals with the hearth and home, etc. So isn't it interesting? I'm here in the UK and I pick up the Queen for the home of my homeland. So this is Queen Elizabeth II. And when we look at the obstacle card, when we look here, look, it's the cards of sorrow. Cards of sorrow. Now, when it's reversed, it can mean being helped out by a friend unexpectedly or something like that. But I think in this context, if we think of recently what's happened, I think she's just feeling, I think quietly she's feeling bereft.
Yeah.
She's probably putting a brave face on it. But really, when we think in terms of what's happened with Philip and all that kind of stuff, and how much she loved him, and the fact that they were together for so long, I've lost how many years it was like over 60 odd years or something like that. And I think when you've been with someone that long, you're sort of blended with them.
Yeah,
you really are.
When I saw that immediately, he's up above watching her from there, but she's not feeling that connection so much. Yeah.
Do you mean she's not feeling that connection to him, or not feeling connected to the world?
No, not feeling the connection that he's actually up there watching her and still trying to support her. but she's just feeling the loss, you know.
Yeah. Because I mean, when we look at that, we know that's loss. Right way, upside down or straight way up, it doesn't matter. That's loss, definitely.
Yeah.
And look, she's feeling an extreme amount of emotion about things.
Yeah.
So really, what I'm thinking is that she is really missing Philip. I think she's really missing Philip. And I also think when I look at this, look, this is the card of evaluation and stuff like that. Of course, she's evaluating her life, and who doesn't evaluate their life when they're that mature? But I feel like this is her looking back on her life.
Yeah.
I think she's reflecting on her life. This is a card of reflection after all. And when we consider the other cards, she's reflecting, isn't she?
Absolutely.
And here, look what I get for the outcome card.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
you can't control everything.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't control everything. So here, this is, you know, it talks about power struggles and abuse of power, or, you know, battles and all that kind of stuff. But when I put this when I put this all together, this really is about, I feel like, Queen Elizabeth's internal world.
Yeah.
Really, I think that's what comes, because the Queen has come up here, so we know it's her. And really, so it is, yes, she's feeling that loss of her partner. She's feeling it extremely. She really is. But of course, she has to put a brave face on it because she's the Queen.
Exactly.
You know, she has to but when she's at home, imagine, you know, you're that significant age that she is, and you're there in one of those castles or palaces or, you know, whatever, and people might just think, well, she lived the privileged life and blah blah blah. But imagine how lonely that can be, being in that epic space.
I also get the feeling with that when the spirit is being poured out, she's, you know, she's losing her life energy as well.
Wow. Yes, 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 of course. This could very much be the case.
Yeah.
Because we also need to remember with this card as well, two people are walking away. And although this is about an abuse of power and, you know, vicious battles and stuff like that, it's also, there is that element of like, the battle's over now, it's done. Yeah. Because it's not during the battle, we can see the battle has ended. So is it like you're saying, is it that the life force, is she kind of in a way saying a goodbye to these earthly realms? Because she no longer has her partner, and she's lived a lot of life. You know, the Queen's presided over some of the biggest changes that have ever happened to humanity. Like when she was crowned, when she was Queen, I mean, there was barely even television. It was televised, but I mean, that was back in like 1952 or something.
Yeah.
Look what we have now, Instagram, blah, 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 and all of that stuff. So yes, maybe this isn't, you know, it's challenging. Let's say it's challenging for the Queen right now.
That we can say absolutely.
Okay, so shall we look at Steve Bannon? Yeah, let's look at Steve Bannon. Oh my God. And you know what? We were talking before, weren't we, about you know, resemblances to animals. Now I know like some people say, look, don't use bad names for people and blah blah blah, and I totally understand that, but some people really do look like animals. Yes. So what I want to show you here, for me, this is the animal that symbolizes Steve Bannon. Can you see it? 1 minute. Let me just turn off the camera here. 1 minute. Can you see that?
Oh, the warthog.
But look, don't you think it's just a bit uncanny?
Well, yeah, I think I could see that energy with him more than
I feel like he's got that.
Yeah.
Do you get me? He's like,
absolutely.
When I tune in with him, it's like, yeah. Like it's like he's rooting around. I know it's wicked, guys, and I know it's naughty, and you guys are like, you know,
we do so bad today.
With someone like Steve Bannon, I think, you know, it's a game because he is up to a lot. And look, if I do side by side, I mean, don't you think it's crumbs?
Absolutely. Well, somebody's saying we're insulting the warthog, so we apologize to the warthog.
Yeah, apologies to the warthog. But you know what I mean? Some people just, you know, they have a certain animal characteristic.
Yeah.
You know, like we were talking about obviously Zuckerberg. He really does resemble a llama. And but yes, so apologies to warthogs out there. But anyway, a little bit of joking there. But in truth, I think Bannon, in terms of what he's done to America and much of the world, I think it's fair play. I think it's fair play. All right. So do you have cards already, or
no? I don't. What are we going to ask about him? Just in general?
Yeah, let's see what's going on in general. I think you know, he will be have that conviction come down. Yeah,
I think so too.
I think it will happen, particularly as well when I was looking at his chart. I mean, according if my time of midday is right, but if you don't know the time, you go for midday. But if he was born around midday, he would be a Capricorn ascendant, and at the moment he's got Saturn in the first house with Pluto and Jupiter, and that causes a lot of change. So what I think is this: I think he will be convicted of whatnot. He will be put in prison, but it won't be for a long time unless they find more stuff. But let's just go on what's posed right now. Let's say like the maximum they can put him in for is a year. Yeah. That means he could be out in 6 months or good behavior or whatever. But let's say he even goes down for 8 months or something like that. I think what he's going to do, he's going to come out with a book. I bet you any money. And it will be like his version of Mein Kampf. And he's going to martyr himself and be like, look, this is what's going on and blah, blah, blah. They're trying to silence me. I think there's part of him that actually wants to be locked up. But even if it plays into his hands, it still needs to happen because people need to see what accountability. People need to start spending some jail time. Yeah, they need to start working on, you know, their crosswords and their Sudoku and their gardening skills, you know, while they're indoors, so to speak. Bannon. Are you ready to go? Or?
I think so. Well, the first card I get out, you know, he's always worked on trying to, you know, make his position better however he can in the world. Comes out swinging, always has something new that he's going to try to bring. This is his path. His path has been there. Wow. Some sort of an offer. Now, I wanted to get some clarification on this. And what I pulled, again, was a magician trying to make something, really make a big change. Again, an offer. And it's something to do with money. So you could be right about a book. That could be. And, you know, some truth coming out. Okay. But he's going to hold out as long as he can and make it for his advantage, whatever he can do, and looking for a deal.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think you're right. Because in a way, this happens sometimes, and I'm sure we've seen it much of the public's frustration. But there is a time where a person can reach a certain level of fame or notoriety.
Yes.
Where they are so notorious and so scandalous that it reaches that point where there's no such thing as bad publicity. Do you know what I mean? Like bad publicity can really harm you when you're on your way up, when you're not established and stuff like that. Steve Bannon is so scandalous, so controversial, such a lover of the Machiavellian moves that the only way that this could tarnish him is that if he's in prison long enough for people to forget him. But if it's a short prison sentence, sadly, many people may not agree, but if it's short, it may only boost him.
Exactly.
Because he'll write a book. You know, he's an intelligent guy. I mean, not that I approve of him. Of course I don't. But at the end of the day, oh my God, these cards. At the end of the day, I'm like, because I did his chart, I'm just acknowledging what's there.
Yeah.
And if someone's intelligent and wicked, which he is, they've got more tools in their toolbox. They're more able to turn a negative situation around to their advantage because he can play these intellectual games, and he's intelligent enough and educated enough and cultured enough in what he's doing to be able, you know what I mean? He can rub the snake oil on it. So if they put him away, they need to put him away for a long time so that it's a proper deterrent and that people forget. But if it's a short time, he'll write a book and he'll be out. And then before you know it, you know, he's going to be on every talk show, you know, spreading his whatever.
Bad boy, bad boy.
Exactly. And the media are just going to lap it up. Do you know what I mean? Because you know, they're in the business of stories. And before I do my little read, we're now at 522 people. Oh, it's creeping up. Thank you guys so much for the support. Who else do we have in the house with us? We've got Blue Moon Rising, Nini Girl, Marvel Johnson, Margaret Rogers, Christine Lofres. Can you see the chat as well, Lady G?
Yes, a little bit. Yes.
And
Karen Donnelly, Electra Storm.
Electra Storm. Brilliant, brilliant. So nice to see you all in. Happy go lucky as well. What's so funny as well, isn't it, Lady G, with the chat here, is that we're here talking about the topics and everyone in the chat talks to each other.
I know.
I love it though. It's great because it's a real community going on. So get stuck in, everyone. All right.
I guess they figure they can watch the readings later, and they can have their chats now, the community chat.
Which makes sense. Which makes sense, doesn't it?
All good. All good.
All good. All good. So, in regards to Steve Bannon, look what I've got here. Look at the Emperor reversed, and I think I spoke about this card. Was it last week? I can't remember. Oh, we've just had a donation come in.
Yes, thank you, Edie.
Oh, Edie, darling. You know who you are. Thank you so much for your donation. I really appreciate that. So generous as well. So if we look here, so this card, when it's the right way up, it's the card of patriarchy, isn't it? Organizing things, all of this stuff. It deals a lot with male energy, and it's about Aries, action, going out. I'm the king. I have the wisdom. I've got all the power. When it's this way up, this can really speak about toxic masculinity. Isn't that perfect for old Bannon face, you know, old wheelbarrow? Toxic masculinity. And really, when we think about this is about anger, self-righteousness. This is about demeaning others, putting other people down, you know, all that stuff that we know, unfortunately, can be many of the emanations of toxic masculinity. Perfect here, isn't it, really? And even though this deals with the ram, you know, a ram has got horns as well, just like a warthog. Right, anyway, I just thought I had that. What's the obstacle? An abuse of power. Look, the card comes back. When we were talking about Queen Elizabeth II, this was her in a way kind of maybe giving up the fight to an extent. The fight was over, walking away because she's in a different life cycle and her cards were different. But when we look in the cards in this context, we've got patriarchy, you know, and that toxic masculinity. And here, look, abuse of power. So he's been abusing his intellect. I've done his chart, as you know. He's an intelligent guy, but swords do deal a lot with the intellect. So here he's abusing his intellectual power, and what he's done here, and I think this is the big effect he's had on Trump, because Trump does have an inferiority complex when it comes to education, just as Mary Trump said. He really does. This is the guy that faked bone spurs so he wouldn't have to go and fight in the war, and then was cussing out, you know, people like McCain because he got caught. You know what I mean? And you're just like ridiculous. And then also kind of running his lips on Colin Powell, you know, men that have actually been the positive emanation of this card, because this is also the general. So this would be like a Colin Powell when it's the right way up. This is Bannon, yeah? And so there's that abuse of power. When we also look as well here, we have swords again. It's about making choices here, but really not for all of his brouhaha. I think he is really considering some of these choices, because he does know he's in a little bit of trouble right now. But he's probably thinking like, how am I going to spend that time? If I go down, How am I going to spend that time? Because he knows there's a good chance that he will. Look what comes out. Stinky fish.
Stinky fish.
Stinky fish comes out. So for me, this is him going down and writing that book. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Coming out with that message. Also, as well, it could mean now he's going to have to appear in court under oath. Yeah, he's going to have to appear under oath. So, oh my gosh, my Facebook is just pinging for some reason. He's going to have to appear under oath. So that this could also mean maybe some stinky and unpleasant news coming out. We could learn a bit more. Hopefully, we should learn a bit more. But look at the outcome. He's delusional. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's drunk on his own ideas. He thinks, he's all that. I mean, I can see why he feels that way, because he's been able to get away with things for so long. But really, truly, madly, deeply, he's ungrounded. Yeah. And this is a guy that is intoxicated with delusional ideas about the far right and white supremacy and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, well, he's just totally an anarchist, just tear it all down. And we had 2 things come in, Christopher and Lee. Thank you so much for the donations, guys. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. So yeah, this Bannon, he's I call him the Rasputin of the far right, but yes, he's kind of loopy-loo as well. He really is he's a very dangerous man, unfortunately, very dangerous man. All right, so let's go international again, but this is truly international in the sense of non-English speaking country on this one. So let's look into the energy of Taiwan and China situation. Will it escalate? Will it escalate? And thank you, Dr. Liz, so much for your generous donation. Thanks so much. So yes, Taiwan and China. Oh, look at that. 41 minutes already. Gosh, the show goes so quick. All right. China and Taiwan. Will the situation escalate? China and Taiwan. Will the situation escalate? Oh, gosh, the cards are feeling a bit jumpy. China and Taiwan. Will the situation escalate? Let's see. China, Taiwan. Will the situation escalate? China and Taiwan. Will the situation escalate? Do you want me to go first this time?
Yeah, please.
No problem. All right, let's see what I've got here. This is so interesting. Okay. All right. This is very interesting what's come up here, because I've got a couple of pentacle cards that have turned up. So the question is about China and Taiwan. Will the situation escalate? So when we look here, I mean, this is the card of business, business, but big business, big money. If the King of Wands is about entrepreneurialism and business in that wider sense, but more related to individuals. This is big money, established money. Yeah. So really, we can look at this as could this be the energy of Taiwan in the sense of maybe it's wealth from manufacturing and goods and services and stuff like that? Because when I look at the second card, look who's back. The Emperor, but again, reversed, which means what? Patriarchy and all that kind of stuff. But it has a lot to do with what? Oppression, aggression, pushing other people down. Could this be the threat of China, which is affecting what? The prosperity of Taiwan? Because Taiwan, as far as I'm aware, is quite a wealthy country. It's done well in terms of manufacturing, and maybe China. Now, this is a speculation. Remember as well, this is not about the Chinese people, of course. We're talking about the regime. We're talking about the Chinese state. You know, those guys, they're practically all men. I think that all of them are men. And that regime imposing its will on other people. This is very much a card of imposing your will on others, whether they like it or not. So this could be Taiwan here and its relative wealth and security, and they're wanting to squash that, it seems. It seems like their plans might be moving forward with pace. Look at that. I've got the Chariot card.
Yeah.
So there is something going on here where maybe China's plans are moving forward, but what is it in relation to? Again, there's here a lot here to do with money and legacies. This is, this could be big government, really. It's the only card with all the generations on, but it deals with big institutions, big business and all that stuff. So already we can see there's a big business theme there. I think China is seeing this as an opportunity to increase its gains, its land. Pentacles also deal with the earth, the element of earth. And I think they may see themselves as celebrating in the future if they are able to pull this off. So when I look at it that way, I feel like the regime sees this as an opportunity for a power grab, and I think they believe it will financially benefit them. That's how I see it.
Well, this has been going on for a long time. Mao Zedong, and they had Chiang Kai-shek, and Chiang Kai-shek left and went to Taiwan, and they've been wanting to take them over ever since.
Wow.
So what we have here is the wheel, okay, karma. And we have, again, the power thing, and this would be China wanting to...
Do you have the Emperor as well? Did you get? Oh my gosh,
well.
the Emperor as well. Wow.
So we have, again, and I feel in this case, it's China wanting to absorb. Of course, they took over Hong Kong. Now they want to take anybody that's Chinese. You need to be. You belong to us. That's it. So what we have here, is the full cup. And in this, I feel that this is the feelings of Taiwan. They want to get to smoother waters. They've blocked all this nonsense with China for so many years. They're looking for their ship to come in, and they're watching what China is doing, etc. And we have the Page of Cups. Now, when I get the Page of Cups, I was asking for some clarifications. And what I got was judgment and offer from America. So wanting them to, to protect and aid them as well. Now, during Vietnam, I was stationed in Taiwan on a Chinese Qingchangguang Air Base. Yeah, in Taichung. Yeah, it was only open for Vietnam. During Vietnam, it's a Chinese base, and as soon as Vietnam was over, they closed that base just back to China.
Okay, like so, folks watching here, honestly, Lady G has lived and then some. She's the only person I talk to, and she goes, "Oh, by the way, I lived there when the revolution of this, that, and the other was going on," and she can even remember the food that she made that day or what have you. I was in this place and that place. You really have lived, and I so
at least 4 lifetimes in this one. Yeah,
I so enjoy talking with you because you've experienced and you've so embraced life and in its full range, and you've lived in different places, tasted and experienced different cultures, and just like that, there's no one else I can think of who can mention, oh yeah, I was there in Vietnam days, guys. Wow, I think that is fabulous. But I think you're right. We all know, I think we all feel it, and it makes sense. China is economically powerful.
Yes.
We know this. They've been increasing in power for a long time, and they are flexing their muscles quite literally. And it's almost kind of like how Putin wants everyone back under the Russian fold, the USSR. He said he wants to claim it all back. And it's almost like, a similar energy with China as well. Maybe not quite the same, but they are definitely being sort of that more negative energy of the emperor. Let's put it that way. Let's put it that. And of course, they used to have emperors as well. And I find it quite pertinent that we should both get the same card in when we're talking about them, because they were a former imperial power, you know.
Exactly.
And imperial
nation, like the red, he's dressed in the red dragon, and the whole thing with the China and the red dragon, and
of course the red, so it perfectly, really does symbolize, doesn't it? Really does symbolize. Okay, so next question, let's look at Bolsonaro, the Brazilian president or prime minister. I think it's president in Brazil. Oh, we've just gone over 600, Lady G. Wow.
Oh my goodness.
So Bolsonaro, I don't have a funny name for him because I almost don't even think he deserves a name. It's just been utterly worse than Duck Larange. And
that takes a lot of doing. You have to be talented to be that bad.
Exactly. That takes a lot. When you can be worse than Duck Larange, because I mean, at least Duck Larange even, said, take the vaccine, and then dived for cover. Remember, before they threw poop at him. Well, they didn't throw poop at him, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
But on a more serious note, with Bolsonaro, oh, look at this. Look at the moon. Look at the moon at the base of the deck. Bolsonaro is essentially, just to bring everyone up to speed, essentially being charged by his government or people who are doing a review for crimes against humanity.
Yes.
Because how he handled the coronavirus, because even more than Duck Larange, he was adamant. He was like, this is nothing, this is a flu, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. You don't need masks. Then he got it. Yeah, he recovered. So obviously he's got his antibodies and all that kind of stuff. And has just been on this campaign of denial. Meanwhile, I think Brazil now has the second highest death toll in the world. And if I wrote it down, they've got over 600,000 people have died so far. And he's still been going, nah, it's nothing. So now they're really, getting stuck in. So I thought, what have I written here? So he's being charged with crimes against humanity and other different kind of misdemeanors and stuff. Will he face accountability? Let's check to see if he'll face accountability. And while we're shuffling, who else do we have? Edie's saying it's pouring rain in Portland. Oh, so you guys are getting some rain at last. God, it was dry as a crisp, wasn't it, for a long time? You guys were like burning down. I hope you don't get too much rain. What you need is that steady autumnal rain where it rains for one day, stops for a few days, and then rains again. Do you know what I mean? Which gently fills up rather than... So I wish you guys, particularly where it's been very dry in America, that you get nice autumnal and winter rain. Let's see. Oh, are you ready to go, Lady G?
I think so. So what is rapidly coming for him is a tower moment. Okay?
Oh.
It's going to rock his world. They're looking at what he's exchanged. He's exchanged lives for money. Okay? Especially in this car. In this one, you see the heart and the money going down. So this is a different deck. This is looking at the things he's done, what he's harvested. But again, this is the sands of times running out on him. He was the King of Pentacles. He had his place of power, making the money. And I wanted some clarification. He is trying to defend. He's going to try to defend, but there's going to be a radical make it happen change magician, and the fool is going to have to go on his way, on his journey to the next leg of his journey. New path for him.
Wow, so interesting. And we've just had some more donations just come in. So Darcy, thank you for your donation. And Darcy donated twice. Oh, good heavens, she even.
Thank you, Darcy. Darcy's in Hawaii.
Oh, she's in Hawaii, is she? Well, I hope you've got good weather out there, and things are all good. And Hawaiians have just been had a lot of people arrive and all that kind of stuff. I know there was issues. When you see these cards, honestly, you're going to chuckle a bit. You're going to chuckle a bit, Lady G. So what does it symbolize? If you look here, look, the sword of truth. It's all coming out.
Yes.
It's all coming out. I was watching a report recently, and they were saying Brazilians are now shocked because they knew things were bad, but now they're really learning how bad things were. How bad things were. So the truth is coming out. What is that truth about? Look at that. The virus. This is what? This is our card for the virus. And here it is. And obviously it's gone pear-shaped. Yeah. So here when the card is... when the card is the right way up, this is an empathetic, creative woman who's full of compassion. And, you know, she might have a few secrets, but she wants the best for everyone. When it's reversed this way, this can refer to mental illness and disease, quite literally, disease. So this is literally the truth is coming out about the virus.
Yes.
There we are. I mean, that encapsulates it. And look, the whole world is watching.
Yes.
The whole world is watching, but not only that, to kind of echo your cards as well, this is a cycle of beginnings and endings. Something's completing itself. Could this be the end of Bolsonaro? We will have to see. We will have to see what happens there. But that's what that card means. It can mean beginnings, but most of the time it means completing something. This is the last card in the major arcana that seals the thing. So whenever you see that, it normally means something's come to an end. It's done. What's happening now in Brazil is what? A huge review.
Yes.
This is literally like this paper has been published to discuss everything that's happened.
That was my card too, but in that deck, it's the sands running out.
Ah, I see. So we got the same card again. So when we look here, truth's coming out because they're reviewing everything now. Now they're reviewing everything and they're like, And when we see here as the outcome card, this is really interesting. This is a card which is about reminiscing childhood, etc., and stuff like that. But this can also show in Brazil, maybe in the government, maybe even for Bolsonaro, they wish they could turn the clock back.
Yeah.
This is about reminiscing about the past, but clinging to the past. Could it be that Bolsonaro just has this old school mentality? 1950s way of looking at things, like a lot of these leaders do. It's almost like I feel like with these leaders that have gone wrong, they weren't breastfed enough.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't get enough breast when they were younger, and it's like they want to steal the milk from everybody else.
That's it. Yeah.
That's the feeling that I get because they've got this, you know, this kind of immaturity. They want to just look back to the past and they want things, you know, Bolsonaro came in on these traditional values, remember, as well, of, you know, the family and stuff like that.
Yeah, why is that all the Republic Uglies are the traditional values and they have no empathy for family or anything. I don't get it.
Nothing at all. It's like what they want is like women pregnant and barefoot, that kind of mentality, isn't it? That kind of mentality. Oh, look, we're coming up to the hour. Crumbs, it's gone so quick. Let's do a quick read on Giuliani, and what I want to ask is, or what I want to know is, will he go bankrupt? Now, the last I heard, he was doing impressions of Abraham Lincoln, so he's been out there hawking, and I mean, can you imagine what a fall from grace? Yeah, you used to be the mayor of New York, one of the most important cities in the world. And now you're literally turning tricks as Abe Lincoln and different historical figures to try and earn a little bit of money. I mean, honestly, I can't even look. I mean, it's appropriate that Dr. Dribblehead should have that because I'll never forget the die dribbling down. For me, that was the end. When I saw that, I was like, this guy is over. But it's tragic, not even tragic, tragic. And this is very sad to see, but he's brought it on.
Well, what I got with him is everything's reversed, and I never do reversed. But yeah, he's upside down when it comes to power, when it comes to money, when it comes to his kingship, the King of Pentacles. He's lost everything, power, everything.
Mm.
As far as new energy coming out, upside down. As far as new truth coming out, upside down.
Wow.
So no power, no truth. He's lost his position, you know. Yeah, just not good.
Grim. Just grim, innit? Just grim. Let's see what I've got. Oh, oh.
Underneath of it, tower.
Do you know, it's so interesting, isn't it? The consistency of the energy. So when we look at him here, he's got the priestess reverse. So of course we know this card can deal about secrets. So when it's here, spirituality and hidden mysteries, intuition. But when it's reversed, we're dealing with predatory energies. We're dealing with really deep, quite dark, sinister energy in some ways. So this is really, in a way, representing where he's at now. He's in a maelstrom, Can you imagine? You're one of the most powerful men in the world, quite literally, and you're literally, dishing yourself out, dressed up as historical characters. I mean, talk about breakdown. Do you know what I mean? What's it all about? What's the obstacle? Yeah, what's the obstacle for him? Money. He's broke. Isn't it funny? Everyone says Giuliani is broke. He was hoping that Duc L'Orange would pay his bills. We know that Duc L'Orange does not pay his bills. So you see here, secretly, he was hoping, he's been working behind the scenes to try and get some money, but it's not been forthcoming. And that's made him feel like what? A victim.
Yeah.
Look at the next card. There he is, and he's got himself into an absolute awful pickle. We know that this character here could shimmy down the bonds and kind of, in a way, navigate. But here he's like a hostage to fortune. And I say hostage to fortune. Look at the next card. Wheel of Fortune reversed.
Ooh.
So here, look, the demon's on the top. There it is. The little devil is on the top, saying that the luck has changed. His luck has reversed. I mean, it seems obvious to say, isn't it? But there it is in the cards. And look how we have for the crown in glory. Stinky Fish. Stinky Fish is back. So here we are. He's got nothing to offer. Yeah, he has run out of things to offer. And the only news that we're going to hear from him is probably news that's not great. Yeah. Because litigation, particularly in the States, is very expensive. And if you don't have the money, if you're down on your luck, and you don't have the money, and you're looking for someone like Duc L'Orange to free you from your situation, you are done for.
You are,
You're
out of luck.
Out of luck. He is out of luck. Quite literally is out of luck. And it's sad, but he, again, like, we're not gleeful about these things or whatever, but he has brought it on himself. And this is what happens when we do these, when people do this foolish stuff. He's just as culpable as Steve Bannon, really. He's been one of the biggest, if anything, he's actually been out there more than Steve Bannon, literally with
for sure
dribbling down his face, and along with the other cra one, the Queen of the Kraken, who is, who's gone quiet, who now they're all facing billion-dollar lawsuits. So, I mean, I think if Giuliani could choose between prison and keeping his money or staying out of prison and being broke, I think he would choose prison, because he's going to have both. He's going to probably be locked up at some point, and he's going to be absolutely broke, and he's got a massive drinking problem as well, which, all these performances must be for his drink money. But anyway, I digress. The hour has come to an end. I want to do a last little shout out. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. We also had HoDiGa's and Connie Brown, Warrior Girl. So lovely to see you. Pavla Ustinov, lovely to see you, Pavla.
And thank you, Michelle, for the donation.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Oh, yes, Michelle. Brilliant. Thank you so much. So generous as well. And Connie Brown is saying, hit the thumbs up. And of course, leave your comments below. Like, share, subscribe,
absolutely,
join, all those things. We love being here to provide this service for you. Thank you, Lady G, looking lovely as always.
Thank you, the most handsome Hogarth.
Thank you. And that I really appreciate that. So, well, we will be back next week. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone. That was, again, an hour is never enough. It's gone by, but I don't want the video to be too long. So we will see you next week, everyone. And thanks so much for joining the show. And prayers, of course, to Diane and Annie. Yeah.
And thank you, Mary.
Oh, we've got another one. Thank you, Mary, so much. All right. Cheers, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.